While everyone else was shouting, one player stayed silent. No tweet, no press conference, no dramatic social post, just a cold stare, a deep breath, and then she went back to work. That player? Caitlin Clark. The viral moment? Britney Griner's alleged courtside outburst. The fallout? A social media war, accusations of racism, and calls for suspensions. But right in the middle of it all, the most talked about name in women's basketball didn't say a single word. And that silence? It hit harder than any response ever could. Because what Caitlin Clark didn't say told us everything we needed to know about her character, her power, and the pressure she's under. So how did this generational talent, just a rookie, end up at the center of one of the WNBA's most explosive controversies? Why is the league staying quiet? And what does Caitlin Clark's silence really mean? Stick around, because this story is bigger than basketball. This is about respect, reputation, and a rivalry the WNBA can't ignore. If you think silence speaks louder than spin, hit that like button and drop "composed" in the comments. Because Caitlin Clark didn't have to speak to win the moment. She just had to keep being Caitlin Clark. Before Caitlin Clark ever stepped onto a WNBA court, she had already changed the game. From Des Moines to the Final Four, she wasn't just putting up numbers, she was rewriting record books. Triple-doubles, half-court threes, breaking NCAA scoring records. Fans didn't just watch her, they followed her like a movement. By the time she entered the 2024 WNBA draft, everyone knew who was going number one. The Indiana Fever had the pick, and Clark had the momentum. But what happened next was something the league had never seen before. Tickets sold out. Merchandise vanished in hours. TV ratings exploded. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive, she erupted. And suddenly, a league that had long struggled for mainstream attention was basking in a media spotlight bigger than anything it had experienced in decades. But here's where the tension started. Instead of welcoming the attention, some in the league seemed uncomfortable. Teammates threw shade. Opponents refused to speak her name. A few even tried to downplay her impact, saying she hadn't earned the hype. And yet, the numbers didn't lie. The Caitlin Clark effect was real. She was the reason arenas were packed. She was the reason casual fans suddenly cared. She was the reason a rookie jersey outsold the entire leagues combined. Still, there was a sense, from certain corners of the WNBA, that Clark's presence was disruptive. Too much attention. Too fast, too loud, and the resentment? It started bubbling under the surface. The buildup wasn't scripted, but it might as well have been. On one side, Caitlin Clark, the league's newest lightning rod, a 22-year-old rookie with a target on her back and millions of fans in her corner. On the other, Britney Griner, a 6'9" legend, Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champion, fresh off a memoir, a free agency bombshell, and a comeback from one of the most harrowing detentions in sports history. Two eras, two faces of the league, and on May 23, 2025, they finally collided. It wasn't billed as a rivalry game, just a regular season matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. But inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, it felt like a playoff war. The energy was volatile, the crowd was louder than usual, the physicality was immediate. Early on, Clark made her presence known, draining threes, drawing defenders, and jawing back when challenged. Griner, playing with her signature intensity, met her at the rim more than once. Every possession between them felt personal. Then came the breaking point. Midway through the second half, Clark cut across the floor trying to slip a screen. Griner stepped in and in one fluid motion, contact. Clark fell hard. The whistle blew, sixth foul. Griner was out. The camera followed her as she stormed off the court. And then, it happened. Her mouth moved. The mic barely caught it, but within hours, the footage was everywhere. People claimed she called Clark a trash-effing white girl. Others said it was just trash. Some claimed she was yelling at the ref. A few even tried to argue the words were completely misunderstood. But one thing was undeniable. The moment exploded. The replay trended on every platform. TikTok lip readers weighed in. Comment sections lit up. Sports shows debated it. Was it a racial slur, a heated insult? Just another example of tension boiling over in the WNBA? But what really got people talking was what Caitlin Clark did next. In an age where athletes clap back on social media before they even hit the locker room, Caitlin Clark did something nobody expected. She stayed quiet. No Instagram post, no tweet, no post-game quote throwing shade. She took the hit, glanced over at Griner for half a second, and then locked back in. Her body language said it all. She wasn't interested in feeding the drama. She was focused on winning. And the internet noticed. Some fans praised her immediately. This is how you lead. pure class. She just lets her game speak, but others, not so quick to celebrate. Why won't she defend herself? Why is she always turning the other cheek? Is she being silenced by the league? That last question started gaining traction fast. People began speculating. Was Clark under pressure to keep quiet? Was the WNBA asking her to avoid adding fuel to the fire? Because let's be honest, her silence wasn't just strategic, it was convenient. For the league, for her team, for the narrative they wanted to protect. Caitlin Clark became the center of the story by saying nothing at all. And while Griner's words were being dissected frame by frame, Clark's silence created a vacuum that fans, pundits, and trolls filled with their own interpretations. Was it maturity? Was it PR coaching? Was it fear? Whatever the reason, Clark had become more than a player. She was now a symbol, a kind of blank slate people projected their own values onto. The WNBA says it stands for equality, inclusion, and zero tolerance for hate. But after the Griner-Clark incident, fans were asking, where's that energy now? Because this wasn't the first time the league had dealt with sensitive accusations. Just weeks earlier, Angel Reese accused Indiana Fever fans of racist heckling. The WNBA responded fast, launching an investigation, issuing statements, and making sure the public knew it was being taken seriously. That investigation? It turned up nothing. No footage, no evidence. But still, Reese got support, attention, and official action. Now, flip the script. Britney Griner, one of the league's biggest names, gets caught on camera during a viral moment. The internet explodes. Fans demand answers. And the WNBA? Total silence. No comment from the commissioner, no update from the Fever or the Dream, no disciplinary action, no investigation. Nothing. And that silence didn't just frustrate fans, it infuriated them. Because to many, this wasn't just a PR blunder. It was a slap in the face to Clark, her supporters, and anyone who believed the league would treat all players equally. One viral tweet read, "If Caitlin Clark had said that to Griner, she'd be suspended by now, no question." Another, "So the WNBA's anti-racism policy doesn't apply when it's against white players?" Whether or not Griner actually said what people claimed, the bigger issue became perception. The sense that some players are protected and others are expendable. And the one being left out in the cold? Caitlin Clark. While media outlets argued and fans went to war in the comment sections, Caitlin Clark showed up the next night and dropped 27 points. No interviews, no rants, no excuses, just buckets. She ran the floor like a seasoned vet, hit logo threes like it was casual, and delivered clutch assists that had the arena rocking. The same fans who had watched her get knocked down were now on their feet, chanting her name. Because here's what people forget. Caitlin Clark doesn't need drama to dominate. She doesn't need clickbait. She is the story. Every time she steps on the court, the numbers speak. Top 5 in assists, leading all rookies in scoring, more jersey sales than some entire teams combined. Attendance spikes in every city she visits. She's become the face of the league. And not because she begged for it, because she earned it. And maybe that's exactly why so many players seem uncomfortable with her rise. Because no matter how much shade gets thrown her way, on the court or online, Clark refuses to flinch. She's not here for petty wars. She's here to win, and that's what's made her so powerful. While others take jabs, she takes jumpers. While others talk, she works. What we're watching isn't just a rivalry between two players, it's a culture clash playing out in real time. On one side, you've got the legacy. Players like Britney Griner, battle-tested veterans who've carried the league through its lean years. Athletes who fought for respect, visibility, and political causes. They built the foundation. They endured the struggle. On the other side, you've got disruption. Caitlin Clark, a new wave, young, unapologetically focused on the game, backed by fans, brands, and a media machine that the WNBA never really controlled. Clark didn't just enter the league, she shook it. And for some veterans, that's been hard to accept. It's not just about style of play. It's about who gets the spotlight now, who's on the posters, who's selling out arenas, who's being asked for post-game interviews and national TV features. And the resentment? You can see it. In the hard fouls, in the subtle digs, in the awkward press conferences where other players avoid even saying her name. To many fans, it looks like bitterness. To others, it's a fight for respect in a league that never handed it out easily. But either way, Caitlin Clark represents change. And change always brings conflict. Because while Griner and others fought to bring attention to the league, Clark is the attention. And that shift is creating a divide the WNBA can't paper over much longer. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the face of a rivalry. She didn't call anyone out. She didn't start the war of words. She didn't fuel the drama. All she did was play. And that, ironically, is what made the noise even louder. Because when a rookie walks into the league and outperforms expectations, fills arenas, and draws more attention than anyone before her, people notice. Some celebrate it, some resent it, and some, well, they try to bring her down. But through it all, Clark hasn't blinked. Not once. She took the hits, literally and figuratively. She watched as a fellow superstar allegedly muttered a racially charged insult. She watched as the league said nothing. She watched as people debated her value, her place, even her silence. And then she did what only the great ones do. She responded without saying a word. In a league built on personalities, Clark's power is in her poise. While others play politics, she plays the game. While the media twists narratives, she writes her own, one three-pointer at a time. But make no mistake, this rivalry is far from over. Griner versus Clark is just getting started. And every time they meet on the court, the tension will rise, the pressure will mount, the spotlight will burn hotter. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about a league at a crossroads. Old guard versus new face, activism versus athleticism, respect earned versus popularity inherited. And right now, the world is watching. Will Caitlin Clark eventually speak out? Will the WNBA finally break its silence? Or will her silence continue to speak the loudest? One thing's for sure, this story is far from finished. So, if you're ready for the next chapter, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your take in the comments. Should Clark finally respond or keep letting her game do the talking? Either way, you won't want to miss what happens next. Because in this rivalry, the quietest voice might be the most powerful one of all.